And welcome back to Atlantis.
Hang on.
Welcome back. Yeah, welcome back.
Welcome back.
What's your problem with that, Dales?
I didn't press F9. You can't just suddenly say, "Oh, welcome back," without expecting us to all be ready.
I can see you underneath of me, Fallaron.
Yeah, don't dig too far down, will you?
I promise nothing.
Well.
For all you know, I'm actually building a rocket silo.
Well.
I'm
sure.
not, but for all you know, I could be.
True.
Well, that wasn't what we asked you to build.
And that's how espionage started.
You're going a bit robotic, is it, on my end?
Yep,
anyway, never mind.
Same here.
So we're on another episode now, and what was I going to say? I was going to mention this Alpha Pupper Alan Partridge film, wasn't I?
Yes, you were.
I was. And it is the film based on the many Alan Partridge TV series.
So, for a minute,
Yeah.
Imagine that we're talking.
Imagine you're talking to someone who has no idea who Alan Partridge is.
Alan Partridge is a fictitious DJ.
So he doesn't exist.
That's what the word fictitious means.
All right, very good, very good.
So I'm not explaining each word, of course. It's important.
Well,
he's played by a guy called Steve Coogan, and he is...
For a minute, imagine you were talking to someone who has no idea who Steve Coogan is.
I just told you who he is. He plays Alan Partridge. That's all you need to know. There's been other stuff as well, like he was active in complaining about the press with the whole Leveson thing. And don't ask me about the Leveson... Well, we could talk about the Leveson thing, actually, but...
Let's not talk about the Leveson.
Let's not talk about Leveson.
Now I kind of want to know what the Leveson thing is about.
We have to spend the whole episode rewinding this now.
Okay.
We'll be here a while if we go on to that.
Can we just say this is what? British interior politics something?
It all came out of the phone hacking thing, where it became apparent that various members of the tabloid press had been
hacked,
hacking voicemail messages, and also in one case there was a suggestion that they sent a message on the phone of a
murder victim, I think it was.
Victim, yeah. And it made the parents think that she was still alive.
Ooh.
And essentially, there were questions about were they, bribing the police? Were they, misusing private investigators to get information illegally and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And it was, different people took it in different ways. Some said, "Oh, at last we can rein in the dangerous tabloid press that just publishes sensationalist stories without, regarding whether it's true or whether it's responsible." And then there's others that said, well, this is the government's attempt to censor the press. And when the Leveson report came in from Lord Justice Leveson, who was the judge that was put into lead this inquiry, he suggested a raft of legal measures that the government refused to implement. They instead went with the Royal Charter instead. The press, I believe, even so, have said that they won't even go with that, and I think they still have to come up with their own alternative that they're going to suggest. But it's pretty clear that nothing really is going to change.
Yeah.
Which is fairly standard for British politics.
I was just going to say that sounds like politics all over the world.
But it was interesting while it lasted. There were some very interesting depositions. I mean, Rupert Murdoch himself was called to testify.
Oh, is that the thing that broke his neck, basically?
Oh, I hope it was, but unfortunately
it was the thing where. Do you remember where the guy came up and I think threw something at him, like an egg?
Oh yeah.
That I think it was an egg or something like that. Or it was a cake. I can't remember what it was. We have this history in Britain of throwing eggs and cakes at people.
That's sad.
But anyway, so that was Leveson. Now we're winding back to Steve Coogan.
We were originally talking about.
Steve Coogan is a comedy actor. He's been in a few films, and he's done lots of things. But one of the characters he's probably most famous for in this country is the washed-up DJ Alan Partridge, who had a in character had a TV show, a talk show, and ruined it for himself. Not least by partly by being obnoxious, but also partly by killing a guest. And the rest of his
on
life.
purpose?
No, it was an accident. But even so, it sort of was the cherry on the cake for him. But he essentially has then spent the rest of his life trying desperately to get another series of his chat show back.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a spoof fly on the wall documentary called I'm Alan Partridge, and they did a follow-up called I'm Still Alan Partridge, which followed his life as he's trying to get back into TV and still trying to believe he's famous, even though he's relegated to doing late night late night, and of course then was later on there was mid-morning matters with Alan Partridge on successively smaller and smaller radio stations. So anyway, at this point, here comes the film. Alan Partridge has been quite a successful character, so they've decided to do a film, and it basically a fellow DJ goes nuts and holds
A fellow
the station to ransom.
DJ, I should point out that it's played by the same actor who portrays Miles O'Brien, the engineer of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, Colin Meaney.
Yes.
Yep.
He
Now him I know.
yeah,
Which is the only thing I know him for.
Well, again, he's been in lots of things. Rhodes Wellville, he was very good in that.
He's a very
he's done quite a
successful
lot of
actor.
gangster characters as well, actually.
Yeah.
But he plays the DJ in this that goes nuts and holds the whole station to ransom. And the only man he will talk to is Alan Partridge. And so the police have to send in Alan Partridge to try and negotiate this guy who I think has got like a bomb in the station to try and
I don't recall if it's a
negotiate.
bomb, but he definitely has a shotgun.
Certainly
and
I think he's got a shotgun. Certainly in an early draft, when I heard about the film's development, they were talking about that it would be a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as I say, I haven't seen the film yet because it hasn't actually come out.
Yeah.
But I've been sort of following it as it's been in production. And this is basically the situation. Alan Partridge, the inept, offensive arsehole Alan Partridge, is the only guy that will apparently this guy will negotiate with. And so he has to go in there and somehow talk his way out of a tense situation. And
you can imagine is not something he's intentionally good at.
No, it should be pretty good, this film. So
It certainly looks fairly good.
It looks fairly good. The clips look great, so we'll see how it pans out.
Oh well, that was just crap. Not the film.
Well, you may have seen it.
Apparently, I've only just acquired the achievement getting wood.
Really?
Seriously,
23
while
years
we're
old, you
recording,
imagine
come
23 years
on.
old, you imagine I'd get that earlier, but nope.
Lying, your voice has gone very muffled all
Yep.
of a sudden.
Yeah, it has.
Is your neck connection playing up, or are you downloading something or something?
Mm-hmm.
Neither, to my knowledge.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Fallaron reckons you are downloading something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right, by the sounds of it, Fallaron reckons he's LaShonda. But I'm reasonably certain that's not the case.
No. But you might want to reconnect to the Skype call
Yeah.
because
Maybe.
it's really bad to understand. Hard to understand. There he goes. Let's talk about him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back.
So there's this guy called Lying.
Oh, this guy called Lying.
What about this
So we
guy called
spoke-
lying?
Oh, that sounds better.
Much better,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, I should get some lights, shouldn't I?
Lights are generally a wise idea when you're clearing out a spot under the ocean.
Yeah. Jack-o'-lanterns, where are they?
I think they're largely on make them as you need them kind of basis.
Now, for a minute, imagine you're talking to someone who has no idea what jack-o'-lanterns are.
I'm still not entirely sure.
They're
what they are.
they're a form of large produce that is gutted and filled with fire.
It's a gourd.
Yes, but
All
now
right.
we have to explain ghouls.
Exactly. I was
It's
like,
what pumpkins are, and marrows, and
Yes, but if we
melons.
have to explain what a jack-o'-lantern is, what is the odds that someone also knows what the pumpkin is?
true.
Well, Fallaron, who has been using jack-o'-lanterns for many years now, seems to have absolutely no
Many
idea
years.
what they are.
Many years.
Many years.
I used to have a YouTube channel devoted to jack-o'-lanterns.
And then you had to you had to close that down when the jack-o'-lantern phase passed.
No, YouTube actually wrote me a letter that I had too many subscribers and they needed the space. So
Too
Oh,
many
yeah, I got
subscribers.
that.
yeah, they kind of
Yeah,
kicked me
I've
out.
got
Oh, you
that
got
pinned
that
to-
on your harmonica channel?
My harmonica channel, yes. My glass harmonica channel.
The glass
That-
harmonica.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't play them, I just sort of stared at them for 4 hours at a time.
Yeah, it's like
I'd find
men
one to
staring at
stare
goats.
And,
Which was a good
yeah.
movie,
Which
actually.
was a pretty good movie, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, the main problem that befell the men who stare at goats, which you should go and find on DVD, was that it happened to be released within the same week as Twilight New Moon.
Yep.
Also, well, it's interesting actually. The Men Who Stare at Goats. I mean, of course, based on the book of the same name by John Ronson.
Yep.
Oh, nearly died there. And that in turn was inspired by a TV show that he used to do called For the Love of, where he would have a bunch of people in who were interested on a particular topic and get them to discuss it. And often they were a little bit wacky. And I used to watch that show.
So
It
it's
was often
basically
great
like
fun.
Atlantis with Darzarin Lane.
If
and
we
Fallaron.
were all in a room with sofas, the one with conspiracy theorists was fantastic because they all accused each other of being like Illuminati. And one of them
As
was
you
late
do.
on the train, so they all assumed again that it was a government thing that they'd deliberately been. So you see these trains again, but it was that was a fantastic episode. There was one which didn't sound particularly interesting, but I did enjoy it. It was about the guys that are fans of big pylons.
Big pylons.
That
Pylons,
sounds like some kind
transmission
of
towers and things, and electricity pylons.
right.
and they
'Cause
would go around and
that
collect
sounded
pictures.
like some kind of that sounded like some kind of distinct fetish magazine of some kind.
It may have been. Um,
Well, there are people who enjoy cars that way. So I
don't go there.
suppose.
It probably
The,
is bad.
the stuff you guys have on TV, it's crazy.
Well, this was late night Channel 4, and if you knew Channel 4, you'd know that means you're pretty much.
That means
Lower
you're out of the
goes.
window as far as standards go.
You are. You're really. You're at the very bottom of the barrel now. I mean, this is the channel that gave us Eurotrash.
Yep.
Which, funny enough, it just occurred to me that some of the stuff that we get up to on here is probably not a million miles away from what they used to talk about on there. But yeah, that was Channel 4 late night.
Suffice it to say that some of a lot of
Banzai
the
as well.
weirder, a lot of the weirder stuff that you hear on British television, it probably comes
It
from
comes from
Channel
Channel 4 in the middle of the night, yeah. Like,
Mm.
or maybe Channel 5. But that
Maybe.
Channel 5 was that nude Keith Chegwin game show, wasn't it?
Oh God, yes. Why did I have to be reminded of that?
Okay.
So again, you take Keith Chegwin, a much loved and respected DJ, and you then think, what would people really like? They'd like to see him front a game show. Okay, well, yeah, DJs can front the game shows. And why don't we get him to do it while he's completely naked? And all the contestants are naked as well. And it
And,
can be like this.
apparently at that point, the boardroom had a mass seizure event, and no one was able to come up with a reason why not.
Why not? No.
Yeah. No,
I-
it was,
It seems to
wasn't
me
too bad.
that kind of situations happens a lot in entertainment
Especially on Fox.
because I have to say sometimes I go watch a movie and I come back out of the movie thinking, who on earth allowed this movie to be made? Did they not read the script before they started making it?
Well, I read a rather interesting thing about Iron Man 1 not too long ago today, which was they literally it may have been Iron Man 1, may have been 2. They literally had no script when they were filming it.
Oh.
It's like they
Well,
they would
alternatively, you've got things like Apocalypse Now, where due to Marlon Brando's shenanigans, they had to basically abandon the script and make it up as they went along.
Well,
So it
that's pretty much what they did with Iron Man 1, because they would spend like the first few hours of every workday just sort of just randomly hashing out whatever ideas they could, which was which was fine for like Robert Downey Jr. because he's great at improv, but it was horrifying for Jeff Bridges, aka the Dude, because he is very more used to actually having like a plan when he's going onto set and stuff. So he just apparently eventually just started looking at it, instead of being a multi-million action film kind of thing, as like a $2 million student project instead. And that's why there's a lot of the remarkably better moments inside of Iron Man 1.
Oh my god, hey. There's a slime.
There are plenty of slimes.
So, Fallaron, what films do you think were ones where you thought, question mark over the script?
Oh, are we really going for the bad movie thing? Because
Yeah, let's go into the bad movie thing.
Alright. Have you guys ever seen a movie called Reign of Fire?
I have it on DVD behind me.
That is one of the dumbest movies ever.
So bad.
But you still have it on DVD.
I have a lot of movies that I own on DVD before I watched them.
And
I also, I like stuff like the MST3K stuff, and so I actually have genuinely bad B movies on DVD, which I bought because I know they're bad, and I love them because they're bad.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for intentionally watching a bad movie. You can make so much fun that way.
You can.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've even with Cinematic Titanic, I even bought them online, and downloaded them that way, and it's a good way of spending an evening. Get a pizza and watch a really bad movie, and just laugh your way through it.
Yeah, it's like I have. You guys probably have heard of it, Iron Sky, sitting around here.
Iron Sky.
I believe we
heard
talked
of it.
about
I've never
this
seen
actually
it.
off camera, didn't we, last time?
Possibly, because Iron Sky, for those who don't know, was a kickstarted film regarding Nazis who escaped to the moon at the end of World War II.
I thought
set
we
up a
wouldn't
moon
get
base.
through another episode without Nazis coming into it somewhere.
Blame Iron Sky. But then they decided to come back to Earth to invade again in 2013.
Ah, yeah, I think I remember that.
Meanwhile, the presidency of the United States is up for re-election and is seemingly Sarah Palin. And it is a complete, absolute joke of a film, but it is so fantastically well done. It's like basically no part of Iron Sky should ever have been made into a film, but they did it so well, and for being as low budget as it was, the effects are tremendously, amazingly well done.
On the other hand,
Aaron-
you've got other films like oh god, I can't remember what it is now. I'd have to actually pause the game to look it up which one it was. I'm gonna have to. Everybody on my
he's
channel,
gonna
just
do
wait
it.
a second. I'm just gonna look up very
While
briefly.
you do that, let me bring up Plan 9 from Outer Space, which is officially
Oh yes,
the worst
now, you're
movie
in
ever.
Ed Wood territory here, aren't you?
Sorry?
So,
Ed Wood,
well,
yeah.
again, all bets are off with Ed Wood.
And I have to say, I've seen that movie, and it's hilarious. I mean, it really is. You have to see this. It's so bad. It's hilarious, funny. It's awesome. We watched that.
Any more adjectives you want to add there?
Yeah, it's great, fantastic, breathtaking.
Cinema verite.
Yeah. We did, a couple of friends of mine and I, we did a movie evening once where the topic was the worst movies that we know. And we did watch Plan 9 from Outer Space, which was actually good because it was so bad. But we also watched a movie called Death Machine. I don't know if you guys know.
Oh, I've heard of this one.
Death Machine is a movie in which a couple of eco-terrorists, I think they were, get caught in a building in which a robotic killer machine
Yeah, that was bad, like.
goes crazy and kills everybody. Something like that.
Because what else does a robotic killing machine do?
Exactly. And there is one scene in that movie that is really good, and that is the scene where there's a guy who has like a giant machine gun with him or something.
Bound to happen.
Yeah,
Eventually.
not really
Has
sure.
to happen in every episode.
Not really sure what it was, and he confronts this death machine, and he shoots it to hell. Basically, he thinks he won, and turns around to leave, and beats or runs into a low like door frame, and it knocks him out, and the death machine kills him because it wasn't dead.
Naturally.
So that movie, if you play role-playing games and you know, critical error,
Critical fails.
critical fails. That was the perfect critical fail. I've never seen such a good critical fail in any movies before. But what else is bad?
Well, I
Well,
was trying to find
there's
this movie,
plenty of
and it's
things
caused
in
me a
the
bit
book.
of lag because I've actually been trying to bring up my backup drive because I think I've still got the
You
file.
put it on file? Oh, cool.
Yeah, here it is. It's Doomsday Machine.
Doomsday Machine.
I
Title.
actually don't think that one rings a bell.
A movie which they ran out of money to complete.
Oh, that's always a good start to this.
It's always a good start, but they decided to finish it off using the ending of a completely different film, which they just tacked on to the end. And it doesn't
What
have
film
any
was this? And please don't say Casablanca.
I can't remember which film it was, but they made it so dark that you couldn't see the characters' faces. And the whole style of the ending is completely different, and it makes absolutely no sense.
Oh no.
But the film itself, I was watching this, and I got it off Cinematic Titanic. I was watching it, and I thought, this looked like a maybe 60s film, maybe even late 50s, and the look of it and the special effects. And I thought the only weird thing about it was this bizarre tacking together the other bit of film on the end. And then I looked at the date and realised that it was actually made in about 79. And everybody looks like they just walked out of the 1950s. And I swear they actually show... There's a scene where I think they show the Earth being blown up. And it looks like someone suspended a potato on a string and set it on fire.
So, like,
I mean, this
early,
is
early
after
Red
we've
Dwarf
actually-
kind of effects then.
Worse than that.
Wow.
I mean,
That's impressive.
It's just, well, the other... I have to say, by the way, with Red Dwarf, okay, you're going to be unfair about that, because don't forget, it was originally shot for video.
Yep.
And when it was first broadcast, because I watched it from the very first series back in 1987,
I wasn't
and
alive then,
you
but I
couldn't
have watched the entire
tell-
series.
you couldn't tell back then on TV technology at that time that, for instance, Holly was just Norman Lovett in a black polo neck shirt. You can
black
on the
background.
DVDs.
Yes.
Because the quality is so much better. But you've got to bear in mind the special effects looked genuinely better on a worse television, which is what we all had at that time. So I'm going to kind of stand up for the special effects of Red Dwarf for the time. Nobody
that's
anticipated
kind of
that-
something a lot of people have been realizing now with the way that YouTube will automatically shunt down the quality of the video you're watching if it's experiencing some kind of lag.
Yeah.
Is 480p used to be what everyone watched everything on. Now no one can stand it.
Yep.
Like, you
Well,
cannot see a
personally,
single
I do.
thing.
Most of the stuff I watch, I will still happily watch on 240p.
Really?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I just can't be bothered using up bandwidth.
Yeah.
240p is what my phone views things.
Yeah, but there are very few videos that I've come across where it's worth seeing it in more.
Hmm.
Can I, for some reason that is really, really unclear to me, I have just remembered a TV series that I used to love as a kid, and I kind of want to know, especially you, Darzer, lying you might not have been alive yet, but Darzer,
Right.
maybe you've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a English, if I'm not mistaken, by the BBC Robin Hood series, with the guy who played
Oh,
the
do you
main
mean
character was
Robin of Shirt.
Michael Pred?
Michael Praed. Yeah, I've met
Yeah.
him.
Oh, really?
I met him when he was in Copacabana, the Barry Manilow musical, and we all went to see that. And we went because I was with a guy at the time who used to know Michael Praed from years ago,
Uh-huh.
and so we all went backstage, and he signed my program and everything, and we actually had a chat. He was quite a nice
Oh,
guy,
really
actually,
cool.
Michael Praed. But yes, that was
You remember that?
Robin of Sherwood, wasn't it?
Robin
It
of
was,
Sherwood, I think. And what it
with
was...
that wonderful theme tune by Clanad.
Yep. And was
Wait,
what
Clannad?
I do
what
love.
it was lying is they had a Robin Hood.
Hang on. You did just say Clannad, right?
I did say Clannad, yes.
Huh. That one I actually have heard of, except I know that by an anime by an anime of the same name.
All right.
I wonder what the odds are if they're related.
This is interesting, Lying. I decided to make a quick tunnel for ease of access from this proto house
Right?
to our house. And guess where I've broken through into?
Please tell me it's not the chicken cooker.
It's the chicken cooker.
Of course.
But only the redstone bit, fortunately.
Oh, that's not much better.
Well, I haven't damaged anything. It's just bizarre that's of all places, that's where I came through. So I've got to try and work out how to safely edge my way around this now. That's
Well,
not.
do not. As the best way I imagine is to not be holding any kind of seeds in your hand. Careful to your right.
I
There's
can
lava.
see where the hoppers are. So if I go around this way,
Oh, I can see you.
I'm going to try and go completely around the outside of the machine.
I'm hearing a bat that apparently survived the apocalypse.
Well, bats are like the cockroaches of Minecraft, so yeah. Can't keep a bad bat down.
Oh,
Light.
I found the cave that the bat is inhabiting, I think.
Let me grab another one of these.
Maybe not.
Don't need all of these up here now.
Yay, impromptu caving! Holy shit!
That seems like the best way it can go. Yes.
So what were you actually going to say about this show? Then identified it.
They did the whole thing very, like, there was a lot of mysticism in it, I think.
There was, yeah. There's all the Herd and the Hunter stuff and everything.
Yeah. And I remember, because that was in the 80s, wasn't it?
That's right.
And I don't think I was extremely old when watching this, so that was actually still a little scary.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was a kid when we were the same age, basically, me and Fallaron.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I watched it because my mum used to like it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was funny. I did a bit of adventure, but yeah, you had all the mysticism as well. I remember her and the Hunter as being kind of a freaky, weird character, but I think it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that you could never see the face of, I think.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You just with the hood and the horns.
Yep.
Yes, it's
All in all, that was a good TV series. Actually, there's still a couple of TV series from the
it's
80s.
very, very 80s though, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is.
It really is.
I mean, even the
Oh,
look
that's-
of the people.
that's fine.
And then, of course, talking about older Robin Hood things, there was the film with Kevin Costner.
Oh dear.
What?
Yes, there was the film
Prince of
Kevin Costner.
Thieves.
Prince of Thieves, which
I think I'm more a Men in Tights fan personally.
yeah, well, I think for me it was most infamous for having that Bryan Adams song attached to it.
Yep.
Everything I do it for you. Which I learned to play on piano actually,
Ooh, look at you.
and
This is very much like a cliche thing to say, I think, but with regards to Men in Tights, probably my favorite scene of that is what makes you think you can be successful where so many others haven't been, and his answer is just because unlike them, I can portray Robin Hood with an English accent. That movie is full of so many good lines. It's sort of like Princess Bride in that regard, which is a movie that people have to see.
Princess
I think
Bride.
everybody that's on the internet has seen The Princess Bride.
They've seen clips of it, probably.
Well, if they've certainly heard of it, and of course that brings us to the late Mel Smith, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Alas,
Surprise death there.
there's been a few recent deaths, really.
They have.
At least
Anybody that's
within the
particularly-
celebrity community, for want of a better term.
I hear people die quite regularly in the
They
world.
do, but what I'm saying is there anybody in particular that you would like to just bring up at this point?
To mourn, maybe even.
To mourn or just to celebrate their contribution to this world we call the human world?
Or maybe to
You're-
celebrate the
you're
fact
almost-
that they finally croaked.
Yeah, is there
You're
anybody
all-
that you're glad is dead?
You're almost sounding like a radio station from Red Dwarf there, Daz.
I was sort of channeling Smashy
You were
and
cha-
Nicey, you know, the old...
You were sort of
Barry-
channeling the microbe.
Oh, well... okay. But,
The
right,
microbe has
anyway.
a lot of people who are, some of whom are, oddly enough, radio DJs and stuff.
It's a good question, though.
Well, there was one of the most famous guys from The Sopranos died recently.
What, the
Are we saying
the main
recently?
character?
I mean, that was a little while ago now.
I think that might have been the main character. I wasn't a big fan of his work in The Sopranos, but what I found out after he died is that he also played the main monster in the movie of Where the Wild Things Are,
Oh, right.
which I didn't
And,
know.
can we just bring up the annoyance of people that put a question mark at the end of where the wild things are?
By all means, I was about to say I won't call myself something, but I realized if I did bring that up, we'd be talking about that subject again.
What you say?
Talking
You won't call yourself Hitler?
No,
Talking
But
about
For today
something.
only, lying
but I will.
is
But I will
himself.
call myself at the end of the episode. So we should catch you next time.
Ah, there we go.
Oh,
I thought it was time. Bye bye.
Bye.